What is up, YouTube? It is Rahul, and today we have another Pokemon TCG post-rotation video for you guys. I know you guys have been not really enjoying the POG format, the Team Up to Evolving Skies format, so we're just going to go ahead and do another post-rotation video for you, give you guys something you actually enjoy, and today is going to be Sylveon Rapid Strike VMAX Toolbox paired with all the other fun cards. In the meantime, hit that subscribe, hit the bell, don't want notifications going live, like, comment, do any favors for me if you can. 70% of the people that come here and take my competitive deck lists aren't even subscribed. So at least do me a service and subscribe. It would really help me out a lot, and you guys can keep getting some really fun deck lists while you're at it. Now, this deck was inspired by Frank Percic, coming out of the Full Grips TCG tournament, and Michael Slutsky helped me make some changes to it. So let's jump into the deck real quick and show you guys what it's all about. Now, here is the star of our deck, Sylveon VMAX, which has the max Harmony attack 70 plus 30 damage for each different type of Pokemon on your bench for 3 colorless energy. Now, 3 colorless energy is a very difficult thing to do in the post-rotation format because we do lose that triple acceleration energy that was so coveted in this current format. But what is Sylveon have that, some other decks don't? Rapid Strike tagging, which means Rapid Strike energy works with this guy. But we only have 2 energy that way. Where does that third energy card come in? Where does that third energy card come in and make that big difference that we need it to? Well, that's where Galarian Moltres comes into play with Dire Flame Wings. But before I talk about the entire synergy of the deck, let's talk about what's in the deck. There's a 3/3 line of Sylveon VMAX. Sylveon V, this alternate art is beautiful. I'm actually very glad I pulled this. Has the ability Dream Gift. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for an item card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. If you use this ability, your turn ends. Going first, this ability is really strong just because you can set up by getting a Quick Ball and Evolution Incense whatever piece you are missing for your next upcoming turn. It just entirely sets you up to not have a dead hand, to kind of get the ball rolling, figure out what we're going to do on turn 2. And also keep in mind, Sylveon is now a Psychic type, so we are naturally just inherently strong up against decks like Rapid Strike Urshifu. Metal Weakness is a little bit unfortunate because Zacian is very strong, but we can answer with the other cards in our deck. Now, we've got a 3/3 line of this Sylveon VMAX, and then we have a 2/2 line of Rapid Strike Urshifu. If you guys are a fan of the channel, you guys have been here long enough, you know that we have talked night and day about Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, one of the best cards that I think has been printed in recent history. Gale Thrust, once again, 30 plus 120 for the first attack, and then G-Max Rapid Flow for the 120 and Snipes. Now, both of these attacks are possible to use but we only have 4 Rapid Strike energies, so that's very important to keep in mind to use this Gale Thrust or the G-Max Rapid Flow. So keeping your Rapid Strike energies count is very important for a deck like this because almost all of these cards rely on using our Rapid Strike energy. But what happens when we run out of that? Well, that's where the Galarian Moltres we talked about comes into play with Dire Flame Wings. Dire Flame Wings and Aura Burn are good attacks, ability plus attack to kind of use to accelerate the energy onto the board to get our Sylveon and our Rapid Strike Urshifu rolling, as well as using Aura Burn as a secondary attack to clean up, because both Urshifu and Sylveon do not have the ability to one-shot really anything in the format without hitting for weakness, so having the Moltres to come in and swing and clean up is really important, especially when these guys are 3 prizers and he is a 2 prizer. Now, the search of our deck is going to be this Rapid Strike Search guy, Octillery, while also providing a water typing to our bench to give us more damage with the Sylveon VMAX. He also does once per turn. You can only use once per turn. Doesn't matter how many Octillery you have in play. You can get a Rapid Strike card and put it in your hand, which means we can find that Rapid Strike energy turn after turn after turn if we need it. We can find ourselves Korrina's Focus. We can find ourselves the Sylveon line. We can find ourselves this Urshifu line. We can find ourselves our Stadium. We can find ourselves a lot of cards that we are missing from the deck. Very important. Now we have Eldegoss V, which recycles a supporter card for us. Eldegoss V not only does that for us, but it provides a grass typing. This card can also be Kricketune potentially, but I've never found myself in a situation where my hand is low enough to use that Kricketune effectively, so I think the Eldegoss just kind of goes the longer way. It's probably the worst starter in the deck, but it's still not that bad. Then we have Crobat V as well, which has your Dark Asset ability to draw cards. Now, Crobat is a little bit of a suspect card in the deck because it doubles up typing with the Moltres, but I think having a card like Crobat is necessary to kind of refill your hand, especially with a setup deck like this when we need to have a lot of pieces in the early game and potentially even in the mid game to kind of get the ball rolling on turn 2 or turn 3. Here's kind of a spicy card that Michael Slutsky introduced to me that I really like. It's called Ditto V. Now, Ditto V has a colorless typing, so it fulfills another typing for our Sylveon VMAX, as well as having V Transformation. Now, having V Transformation means that we could have an attack. What it says is basically, once during your turn, you may choose a basic Pokemon V from your discard pile and switch it with this Pokemon. Any attached cards, damage counters, special conditions, turns in play, and any other effects remain on the new Pokemon. So now, if we can attach a Dark Energy to Ditto V, we can replace this with Moltres, a baby Sylveon, a baby Urshifu, and all of a sudden, it could become a VMAX out of nowhere and make the play that we want it to make. I really like that ability, just having it, because If we can find that VMAX, we can kind of figure out exactly how we want to play the turn out, exactly what we want to do to kind of get the play going. Now, Frank in this slot ran a Galarian Meowth, which I think is a very important card to note, but I don't really know why that would be better than something like a Ditto, so I just didn't include it. We have 1 copy of Energy Search, which is obviously very strong to getting our energies. It acts as a pseudo 6th Darkness energy, especially helps while getting stuff into the discard. 3 copies of Energy Switch. Now, Energy Switch is the lifeblood of the deck to simply get energies off of Moltres onto Sylveon, energies off of Moltres onto Urshifu, whatever, yada, yada, yada. 3 copies of Evolution Incense, 3 copies of Great Ball, and 4 copies of Quick Ball are our search cards. Now, Great Ball is still in format. Very important to note. This card was reprinted, I think, in what? Champions Path? Champions Hidden Fates? Sword and Shield base? I don't know. There's been like a million Great Ball arts. So we have these like search cards. You could 4 of on the Evo Incense and go back down to 2 on Great Ball because the deck does have like a bunch of like just Pokemon, like raw Pokemon that are evolutions that are good. But the Great Ball also gives us options to find some of our other basics in the early game without having to discard pieces using Quick Ball. We have 2 copies of Tower of Waters, which is a very, very excellent support or stadium card to kind of get the retreat of our Rapid Strike Pokemon out of play, which is going to be really crucial because there's going to be no Chaotic Swell in the upcoming format. So this makes a world of a difference. We have Boss's Rainbow, Boss's Orders, Boss's Rainbow. Why did I say that? Double rainbow across the sky. Boss's Orders, very staple in any deck. With the 3 Boss and the 1 Eldegoss, we have a potential to use 4 to kind of bring up something we can 2-shot it. We also have all these sniping options with our Rapid Strike Urshifu. Pretty good. We have Korrina's Focus, a Rapid Strike card that we can search out with Octillery to fill our hand. Very strong as well. It's just a searchable supporter with Octillery, so it gives us some more outs to kind of be more consistent. Now, you don't have to play 2. You could probably even cut down to 1 and find like a slot for something else, like a Raihan, or even, I don't know, a Rapid Strike supporter that could be like Brawly. I don't know. Raihan seems like it would be really good in this deck, but I haven't tested it too much yet. The Raihan. It seems like a niche use case, and it's very hard to search out. That's why I don't have it in here. It doesn't have an Inteleon line, right? So it's very hard to search out. 2 copies of Marnie and 4 copies of Research are also the lifeblood of the deck to kind of get the supporters going. Like I mentioned at the beginning of almost every standard video, Research, Marnie, Boss, those 3 cards in any combination, you will see in almost every standard upcoming deck in the rotation format. It's very asinine to assume that these cards won't exist just because of how powerful they are in the grand scheme of things. They all provide a very unique effect that are very strong in their own rights, and being the staple supporters for the set until something new comes out is not a bad thing. 2 copies of Air Balloon in tandem with the 2 stadiums to help us retreat. Now, notably, we're missing cards like Switch, but it is what it is. And we have 2 copies of Ribbon Badge. Now, Ribbon Badge says if the Pokemon V this card is attached to has Sylveon in its name and is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, that Pokemon or player takes 1 fewer prize card. So this way we can kind of leverage our Sylveon VMAX as a 2-prizer, while also getting those 2 shots and trading efficiently. So the game could also become like a 2-2-2-2-3 game, or 2-2-3-3 game, or like a 2-3-2 game. I don't know. It's like, it just helps offset the math a little bit. Then we have a copy of Vitality Band, which really helps in terms of doing damage with Sylveon VMAX, because 70 plus a full 5 bench brings us to 220, so you get that 230, kind of buffing us up a little bit more damage-wise. Really like that. Then we have 4 copies of Rapid Strike Energy. Like I said, this is going to be probably the most crucial card to keep track of when you're checking your prizes, figuring out how you want to close out and map out the game, because we only have 4 of these. Yeah. Then 5 Dark Energies. You can go to 6th and by cutting like the Korrinas, cutting a Vitality Band potentially, cutting a Ribbon Badge. Like on any of these cards can be cut for 6th energy if you want it, but they can be accelerated back with this Galarian Moltres. And then coming after that, you can just, use the Sylveon to do what you need to do. So that is the deck. I'm really excited to try this deck in the post-rotation format. I have another way to also build Sylveon. So I'm sure you guys can guess it's going to be like a Sylveon, Zeraora, Blaziken style deck, as opposed to using the Moltres to accelerate energy. And Blaziken will be the primary accelerator there. So that'll be a different video to try it on a different day. But for now, Sylveon VMAX, and this is my first take on it, using Frank Persic's list as inspiration. I think it's really strong. It's really intuitive. Frank is an amazing deck builder, and it seems a lot of fun. So Rapid Strike will long live. And if you guys made it this far, remember to subscribe, like. I'll see you tomorrow for another daily Evolving Skies video.